Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I thought I would talk about another common question and kind of a personal insecurity of mine if I'm being completely transparent about everything. Um, and that is the stigma attached to online schooling in general, but even more specifically, online nursing school. Um, so the good news is that, again, with my particular school, um, a lot of these barriers and stigmas are starting to be broken down a little bit because they've gained traction for the 10 or so years that they've been around. Um, and so people are taking them seriously, and there are a lot of RN to BSN graduates that use this particular school. So people, I think, are starting to receive it with a little bit more, with their arms a little bit more wide open, so to speak. But it's a very real thing. And if you are someone that is, sorry, that piece of hair was bothering me. If you are someone that struggles a little bit with being someone that's different or pursuing a route that's a little bit different, then this might be a challenge for you. And quite frankly, I'm not really one of those people. I'm not someone that is afraid to be a trendsetter or be someone that's different, right? To pursue a different route to accomplish my dreams. But this is it's a little bit loaded for me, and that's why I thought it would be great for me to do a video on, because it might help other people feel a little bit more confident in their choices, or help people not feel so impacted or affected by standards on, surrounding education in our society. So obviously online schooling comes with a stigma. It is not something that I think I need to defend, because I'm sure that most people are aware of that fact, and for good reason. Honestly, online schooling has a stigma attached to it for a good reason. It didn't just come out of nowhere. The reason for it is that it's a new branch of education, right, to begin with. And so anything that's new is obviously going to bring with it some raised eyebrows, some scrutiny, and just this idea that it needs to be defended, or it needs to essentially back up what it claims, right? Which is a good thing. All of it's a great there's a good reason for it at the heart of it all. And essentially, as well, if you're attending online education, most of the time you're going to be paying more than other institutions that are state operated, or other universities that are state run. And again, if you're going to be spending lots of money for something that someone else is going to get at a traditional brick and mortar university, there should be some questions raised, right? To ensure that you're protecting yourself and you're protecting your future career, and the education required to attain your future career, in terms of like an ROI. So make sure that there is a good return on investment for your education. Like, education is already expensive. There's no one argues that. I mean, that's just like a well-known truth about the world, right? That it's just that way. And in a lot of ways, it's required. It's not, but again, the stigmas or the cultural norms established in Western civilization say that it is absolutely necessary in order to get where you're going, right? So when choosing a medium that challenges some of the traditional methodologies for achieving this goal, again, you should do your research and ensure that you're making a decision that best aligns with your future. Now, if you are someone that's willing to pay more for your education, due to convenience and just it lining up better with your particular lifestyle, because you know in your heart that you're going to be more successful if there's some leniency there, then it's fine. Again, you weigh the pros and cons relative to your particular situation, and just, I guess, and your journey and your goals, right? So again, we're fighting stigmas here, and then talk to most anyone, especially who aren't aware that this school, my particular school, and just other online nursing schools exist, they're going to look at you like you're kind of crazy, and they're going to think, like, don't waste your money, you know, pursuing that, because it's not something that is going to be legitimate. You're not going to find a job as a nurse, and you're just sacrificing the quality of your education. Well, all of the research that I did, the post-grad schools that I talked to that I was interested in after I got my BSN, all were on board with my particular school. Like I said, there's tons of information about it on forums, and just legitimate places that I think are an accurate depiction of what it's really like. Not simply, I wasn't simply basing my opinion on an enrollment counselor or some staff members of the particular institution, right? So make sure you find as unbiased information as you can, but you're going to be fighting those stigmas. If someone hasn't heard of the school that you're getting into, you're fighting those stigmas. I live in a state where there actually are quite a few well-known, one in particular that's, you know, nationwide known as being a really top contender for like nursing school and med school, just kind of the science branches in general, or the medical branches in general. And so you're going to get a lot of raised eyebrows when you tell people where you're going to school, and they're going to be like, what is that? You know, they're going to question you. And I'm someone that performed well on my T's and had a decent GPA. And so when I would tell people, yeah, like, this is the school that I'm pursuing, they would look at me kind of crazy, like, well, you got a really good T score, like, you got a decent T score, then shouldn't you be pursuing another local university that's more well known? And yeah, again, with people's limited amount of information surrounding education, and especially just the stigmas attached to norms for education in general. Like, there is this big pull for attending a prominent university, a well-known university, right? The Ivy League schools immediately come to mind. Like, if you attend an Ivy League school, most of the time people view you as superior to the rest of us non-Ivy Leaguers, right? I don't know. I think if you're going to pursue a journey that best supports you, or you're going to pursue a path that best supports you on your journey, it shouldn't matter what other people say about it, you know, or what they determine to be the best and most successful route for you, because their opinion is irrelevant, because it's your life. And for me, if I were to attend, you know, and actually get in and accepted into the really well-known nursing school, then I don't know that I would be successful in nursing school, because it wouldn't suit my lifestyle and my goals, and it wouldn't help me to be the best mother that I can be while still pursuing my dreams of becoming a nurse, right? And again, that wasn't a sacrifice I was willing to make. I wasn't going to look at schools and fit me into their situation as much as I was focused on, I'm going to figure out what would best support me, and then pick a school that aligns with that. And again, you know, fighting those stigmas, or just opinions about schools that aren't as well known or are new and people don't really understand them, is not an easy thing, right? It's hard when your family members or your friends or people that you went to school with question you about your choices for education, thinking, oh, I don't know if that's really going to be the right choice, because who's going to hire you, and how are you going to get a job, and you're going to dig yourself deep into debt, and, you know, again, all of the negative connotations associated with online schooling in general. And then you compound that by the fact that most people don't even know that pre-licensure BSN programs actually exist. So people don't know that you can literally go into a bachelor's program without having an RN online. That's a new thing. And so again, when something's new, people are going to question it. Now later on, after people discover it and realize that it's a great route and tool, and that people actually do graduate and find amazing jobs, And that when I talk to individuals that are affiliated with like these other schools, traditional schools that speak very highly of my particular school, or of any online nursing school that you've done research about, then that breeds a lot of confidence, right? Like it helps reinforce that. But the key is to not let someone else and their expectations of what your life should be, or their expectations of how their life should unfold, to impact your choices. Because at the end of the day, it's your education, it's your journey, it's your path, it's going to be your career. So you need to pick something that is going to support your life in the best way possible, so that you can maintain whatever benchmarks for success that entails for you. So for me, I'm not willing to sacrifice being like a decent mother throughout this journey. I'm just not willing to. Am I willing to sacrifice some time, right? Am I blind to the fact that there are going to be moments when my children need me and I need to study, or I need to go away for a lab or whatever, and I have to be away from them all day? No, of course I'm not blind to that, right? But I'm willing to try to keep all of those balanced by putting the necessary foundation in place to support me in my journey. And this particular school does that. And no one's opinion of whether that's right for me or not changes my benchmarks for success. I've laid those all out, my metrics are there, and it doesn't really matter what anyone thinks. It's hard not to get caught up in that, especially if you're a young student and you live with your parents, or your parents play a very fundamental role in your life. Then it's hard to say, this is my life, this is my decision. I've done the necessary research, here it is. If it makes you feel better, like here's lay out all the various steps you did to ensure that this journey was right for you. Show your parents or your significant other or your other family members or your friends, like, look, this is what I did, to ensure that this was the right path. I talked to these schools that I'm interested in when I pursue becoming a family nurse practitioner, or whatever post-grad stuff you're looking to pursue. This is how much it costs. This is the framework for like learning the various competencies, etc., right? Again, you don't have to defend yourself to anyone, and the better you can become at just brushing other people's opinions and expectations of you off of your shoulders, you're going to be such a happier person just in general. But if these people do have a significant impact on you, and that's okay, like it's okay to admit that and to accept it, then again, lay the groundwork, show them your research, help them set their minds at ease. And then when you are in nursing school and then you have your pinning ceremony and pass the NCLEX and become an RN, they'll be right there, front seat, ready to support you. So hopefully that helped kind of, I guess, address barriers associated with online schooling in general, and then help you feel like if you are interested in pursuing kind of a non-traditional route, that you aren't alone. You're not the only one that feels a little uncomfortable when it comes to kind of promoting your choices. You're not alone. You can do this. And what's really important is what works for you, because at the end of the day, you're doing the work and it's your journey. I have all of this laid out in a more cohesive and, coherent blog post. So if you're interested in reading about that, I know some people like videos and some people like reading blog posts and some people like both for quick reference. So I'm going to have a link to that in the description box to my blog, so you can read the corresponding post of this particular video. And thanks so much, everyone.